Um, we can start now. But how come we only have 101 participants? Okay, so we start with the lecture notes number 5. So this is a lecture on how do we evaluate the retrieval evaluate how do we evaluate the retrieval system that we have. Okay. Um, so semua boleh dengarkan? So if everyone ready, can you type number 1? So number 1. Okay. So you have completed quiz number 1, quiz number 2, and also the assignment number 1. Soon I will provide the solution for assignment number 1, and assignment number 2 due this Friday, and also quiz number 3. Okay, so today we will cover retrieval evaluation. We are looking at how do we measure the system that we have designed. This is because when we are given the result of the retrieval, different people will have different opinion. So they say this list of result will have only 2. Some people may say they only have 3 or none. Okay, so this is due to the fact that different people have different background and also knowledge about the topic that they are looking for. So in order for us to um, have like benchmark in order to evaluate the system, we should have some mechanism on how do we evaluate them. Okay? So we need some metric that we can define to evaluate the system. So this metric has high correlation with the preference of a group of user. Okay, so for example, if you are taking computer science student compared to finance and business student, so your background compared to their background will be different. So so whatever list that display on the screen, so most people in computer science domain will have similar, um, almost similar result compared to the one that have different background. For example, finance, business, and economy. Okay, so without proper retrieval evaluation, we cannot compare how well the system is, how well the performance of the system that we have invented. Okay, so by having this metrics, we will be able to compare the performance of the IR system. Okay, so in the past they have used a few benchmarking on how do they evaluate the retrieval system. So this is up. You can hear me, can? Okay. So retrieval evaluation is a critical and integral component of any modern IR because this is a benchmark that they use to compare the IR system. Okay, so in order for us to have a framework to compare the system that we have, we have to set a few definition here. Okay? So a reference collection is composed of a set D. So this is your document, pre-selected document. We also have a set I that refer to the information that required to be tested. Okay, and we have a mapping function, or what we call it a set of relevant judgment that will associate the information with the document. Okay, so for example, um, information related to big data can be related to certain document that you have in your um, collection. Okay, so this is what we call relevancy. So the information that provided or query that provided will give you a list of document which is relevant. So if they are relevant, we will put one. If not relevant, we put zero. Okay, so one if they are relevant and zero if not relevant. Okay, so these judgments are produced by human specialists. So based on the background of their knowledge, they will determine which one is relevant and which one is not relevant. Okay, so the metrics that we'll be using in this session, we will look into precision and also recall. So these are the two main metrics that will be used. Single value summary will apply the matrix precision and recall at certain position in your list. Okay, so let's take a look at what is precision and recall. Okay, so in order for us to define precision and recall, we need to have a few information. Okay, the first thing is the information requested by the user. Okay, and then we also have R, which is the set of relevant document with respect to I. This I. Okay, and also we have the answer set of I generated by the IR. So meaning that you have two sets. So the intersection of the relevant document and also the set of answer set, which is this one. This is the relevant portion of the list of documents that are displayed to the user. Okay, so we are looking at this. So what we want to have is we want to maximize the intersection between set R. Set R is the relevant document and set A are the document that display to the user. Okay, so what we want to have is similar to this. We have document collection. We want to have the intersection between the retrieve document and also the answer document to be on top of each other. So we want to maximize this. Okay, so we want to maximize this. Okay. So for that reason, based on TR and also DA, we will define what is precision and what is recall. Okay, so this precision and recall will be used to um, identify the performance of the IR system. Okay, so let's define what is the recall and precision measure. So if we look at this intersection here, okay, so if we define the fraction here, no, the recall here, this is the fraction of relevant document. Okay, so how many of the relevant document has been returned to you? So that means we are looking at this intersection and we divide by the relevant document. So meaning that we are looking at from the relevant document that you have, how many has been returned to you. Okay. So if you have 10 document, let me, okay. So if you have 10 document, which are relevant. Okay, so how many of them are being returned to you? So we are looking at this portion here. Okay, so this one means if we say 3, that means out of 10 relevant document, only 3 has been returned to you, has been provided to you. Okay, so this is recall. Okay, but if we talk about precision, precision is the fraction of retrieved document. So this is based on the return list, how many of them are relevant to you. So at the bottom here, we are looking at the return list, the answer that given to you. Okay, and you want to know how many of them are relevant. So for example, if you have 15 display on your screen, how many of them are uh, relevant to the query that you has typed? Okay, so this X refer to the same intersection here, but we are using different divider here. Okay, okay, how do we apply recall and precision? So let's take a look at the the application of precision and recall. So the definition of precision and recall assume that all documents in the set A have been examined. So that means the list given to you as part of the answer, you have checked all of them. Okay. However, user is not usually presented with all documents in the answer set at once. So um, for your information, if you use the Google, you may have more than 20 document given to you. Okay, but in this example, we will limit, let's say, 10 or 15 or 20 answer given to you. Okay, so the way we describe the performance of the IR, we will use the plotting that will plot a curve of precision versus recall. Okay, so your precision will be here and your recall will be here. So this is your recall and this is your precision. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to have high precision and high recall. So you want to have here. Okay, so if your recall is 100%, you want to have your precision to be 100%. So you want to have a graph something like this. Okay, but in reality, your graph may do like this or something like this. But the maximum one is this one. Okay, so how do we plot this one? We will look at the example here. Okay, so consider a reference collection and a set of test query. So for example, for query number 1, we have all these relevant document that we have. So we have how many relevant document? We have 10. Okay, the magnitude for the relevant document is 10. Okay, let's suppose given to you by the system will be 15 document, and the one with the dot here refer to the relevant document. Okay, okay. So the objective here is for each of the position that you have, for example here, you need to determine the precision and recall. Okay, so at this position, given at this position, okay, given to you only one. Okay, so what is the recall here? What is the recall here? If we add here, okay, so recall refer to how many from the relevant document that have you retrieved. Okay, So you have your recall here will be, you have 10 document, which is this one, but only one has been retrieved. So that is your recall. Okay? So your precision at this moment will be, because at this position, how many document you have? You only have one, and out of one, you have one relevant document. So your precision is 100% because you have 1/1. So you have 100%. Okay. Okay. When we are here, okay. When we are here, let me change the color. Okay. So when we are here at this position, what is the recall? Can someone guess? What is the recall here? 2/10. Yes. Benarkah? Okay. So the recall is because out of 10, you managed to recall 2 at this position. Okay, so 2 out of 10. Okay, so this is 20% lah. So what is the precision here? At this position, how many documents you have so far? 2/3, or Ernest. So we have 3 documents, and out of 3, we have 2 which are relevant. Okay, so this is what? This is like 66.7%. Okay, okay, if I'm here, what is my recall at this position? What is my recall here? Yes, still 2/10. But what is my precision at this point? 2/5, because out of 5, we only have 2. Okay, very good. Okay, when we are here, let's use different color. So when we are here, what is our recall? Very good, 3/10. When we are here, what is our recall? (4/10), which is 40% lah. Over here, our recall is 5/10. Kan? Okay. At this position, what is our precision? Precision. So out of 6, how many relevant? Because at this position, we have 6 documents. Okay. Shortcut lah. So the answer is 3/6. Because we have 6 documents at that position, and we have 3 documents which are relevant. Okay, what is our position here? We are looking at number of documents here and how many of them relevant. Okay, so 4, because we have 4 relevant documents out of 10 documents which are retrieved at this point. Okay, okay, what about here? What is our position here? How many documents we have here? Okay, so 5 over 15, so 1/3 lah. Okay, so very good. Okay, so in between, so like this one here, what is our recall? So at this point, our recall is still 3 over 10. Okay, our precision will be lower lah. Okay, so the precision will be 3 over 7. Okay, so we have all this. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to plot the um, recall versus precision graph. Okay, so how do we plot them? So remember that when we perform the recall here, we have 10%, 20%, and then 30%, and 40%, and 50%. Kan? Okay, so we have all of them here. Okay, but when it comes to this one, because we cannot evaluate 60% from our list here, because we only have up to um, the recall that we have is only up to 5 over 10. So meaning that for recall 60%, 70%, 80%, 0. So that's why we have all 0 here. Okay. So when we plot them, we will have this graph. Okay. So remember that our objective is to have a maximum something like this, and to maximum here. Okay. So so the way we compare the performance of the information retrieval is we look at the area under the curve here. Okay. So if we have two systems with different plotting, so we can measure the area under the curve, okay, or AUC, and the one that give you higher value, meaning that the system is better compared to the one that has lower area under the curve. Okay, okay, let's take a look at this one. Second one. Okay, what is the precision that we have here? Or recall. What is the recall here? 1 over 3. 1 over 3. What is the precision? What is the precision? So precision will look at all this. So out of three, we only have one relevant document. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if we look at here, so what is our recall? 2/3 lah. 2/3. Okay. So what is our precision? So we are looking at all this. Okay. So 2/8. Okay. What is our recall here? Our recall here is 3/3. Thank you, Susan. And precision, what is the precision? 3/15. Okay. Okay. So we have these three value, but we have value in between. Okay. So to fill up our table here, so this is how we're going to do it. Okay. So the one that we have here is we have here. Okay, for recall 1/3. 1/3 is what? 1/3 is 33 lah. Okay. So meaning that we will have this value here. Oh, I just I just underline. Okay. Because we have this one. So recall is 1/3, but to in the graph we just kasih bulat there, and then we put the precision to be 33 also. Okay. So we have that one. We only have this one. Huh? So the rest of this will be copy going up lah. Okay. So the next one we have the second one. So the second one is we have the recall is 2/3. 2/3 is what? 2/3 is 66.7. Okay. So this is equivalent to 1/4, which is 25%. Okay. So we will have our table here because this is 66. We will kasih bulat dia jadi 60. 60. Then the position will be that one. Okay. So the rest of this will be copied here. Okay. Next one will be we have this one. So the recall is 100, and then this is 1/5. So which is 20%. So basically we have this one here. Let's use different color. Okay, so we have that one. So these three value that we have. So in order to fill in the rest of the value, we just copy going up lah. Okay. Okay. Then from there we can plot the graph that you show on the screen here. Okay. Any question? Okay. So this is based on query number 2. The previous one was based on query number 1. Okay, so imagine that you have two query, and then you want to find the average performance between we want to find the average performance of the system based on query 1 and query 2. Okay, so this is your query 2. Okay, so what we would like to do is we will combine the table that we have. So this is your second table, this is your first table, this is your second table. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to find the average performance of the system based on query 1 and query 2. So we will add up the value and divide by 2. Okay, so this plus that divided by 2. So you will have a new value here. Okay, so when we plot this graph, so this graph are referring to both of these. So this is based on query 1, this is based on query 2. So this is the average performance of the system, information retrieval system based on query 1 and query 2. Okay, any question? If you still there, can you type number 7? Okay, so this is very important because this can be used to evaluate the performance of your uh, information retrieval system. Okay, but the problem now is that we have precision and recall. We have two things, so both must be 100% in order for us to get um, high performance. Okay, so um, when we try to compare two different systems, so we will look at ranking number 1 and ranking number 2. Okay, so the only way for us to determine which one is good, so we will have to look at the area under the curve that we have. Okay, so this is your exercise later on. Okay, so now we will look at the single value summary. So single value summary will be used to determine the performance of the system based on a single value only. Okay, the one that we have in the previous example, we have to find all the um, relevant document and we determine the recall and precision and we plot the graph. Okay, but we could also use the single value summary to determine the quality of retrieval system that we have. So they call it single value summary. This is used at a particular point in your list of document that return to you. Okay, so for example, we are looking at the position at 5, meaning that at position 5 in your document or at position 10 in your document. So if we have something like this is based on your query 1. So we are looking at this position here. What is the position here? So the position here will refer to we have 5 documents here, okay, but only 2 which are relevant. Okay, so you will have the precision will be 2/5. Okay, so if we look at here, okay, the precision will be 40% because out of 10 we have 4 relevant documents. So this is one of the way on how we can determine the quality of the information system at a particular point of your retrieve document. Okay? So in order for us to, like I mentioned just now, how do we measure area under the curve? Okay, how do we measure that one? So we will look at the what we call it the mean average precision. So um, we will look at the n, where n is the number of query that you have. Okay, so for example, just now we have two query. Okay, and we depending on number of query, we also look at the number of relevant document at that particular query. Okay, so this is the QJ here referring to the number of relevant document for query J. Okay, and this one refer to the precision of all the document which is related to query J. Okay, so this is I to J. Okay, so basically what we want to do is we want to add up all the precision and divide by the number of relevant document here and then divide by the um, number of query. Okay? Okay, how do we apply this one? Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we want to apply we just take all of this from here up to here. Okay, and this 10 here refer to, because in query 1 you have 10 relevant documents, so we need to divide by 10. So this is only for query 1. Okay, so you have this. Okay, for query 2, okay, so if we have query 2, so what you need to do is, because in query 2, how many um, in this query 2, okay, how many relevant document that you have here? Here we only have 3. Yep. Okay, so we also have to look at, so we are looking at this 33 plus this 25 and plus this 20%. Okay, so for your query 2, so query 2, basically you have 33 plus 25 plus 20, and you divide by 3 because you have 3 relevant document that you have, so we have this number lah. Okay, so in order for us to find the average, so we add up these 2 divided by 2. Okay, okay, let's take a look at another example here. So this example has some illustration. Okay, so for this one we have 5 relevant document. Okay, okay, at this point what is our precision? What is our precision at this position? At this position 100. Okay, 1 out of 1, so 100%. This one 2 out of 3, so 66.7. This one, 50%. Okay. And this one, 4 out of 9. And this one we have 5 over 10. So this is all P, yeah? The precision here. So when we look at the P that we have here, so this is 1, this is 0.67, this is zero point 0.5, this is 0.44, this is 0.5. Okay. So the map will be the summation of all of those. Okay, the map here. So the map here will be the summation of all this thing divided by 5 because we have 5. Okay, and we have this. Okay, similar to this for query number 2. So we are looking at this only. 0.5, 0.4, 0.43, and we divide by 3, we get this. Okay, so the map for all will be 0.62 plus 0.44 divided by 2. Okay, so we have that one. So this is how we measure the quality of the in information system based on 2 query. We may have 3, 5. So normally we test the system based on number of query, and then we will look at the recall and precision, and then we will compute the um, average mean. We will compute the mean average precision for all of your query. Okay. So we also have R precision. So the R precision be the total number of relevant document for a given query. So we are looking at the formula here. Okay. So the R precision compute for several query can be used to compare two algorithms. So we are looking at um, the precision that we have. So this is the precision at A minus the precision of B. Okay. So we could have something like this in which we are comparing between the query A and B. Okay. So for example, the algorithm A perform better for the 8 query 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and for the algorithm B, they only have 2, which is better compared to algorithm A. Okay, so this is just to compare. Okay, and like I mentioned just now, since we have recall and precision, they have this what we call the harmonic mean, where they combine the recall and precision at the same time. Sometimes they call it the F1 measure. So F measure is a single measure that combine the recall and the precision. So remember that we want to maximize this. So the maximum value for recall is 100%, which is 1, and also the maximum value for precision is 1. So if they are both maximum, so the value for this will be 1. Okay. So how do we apply this one? So for example, uh, we will have to compute the recall and the precision at document J at this position. Okay. So you will just replace this one with the number. Okay. I think that's all. Okay. So what happened tomorrow is that we will go over some of the one exercise on plotting the graph, and at the same time also we will look at the how do we compute the map, the mean average precision for each of the query that you have. Okay, so it's look straightforward, but when we want to do it like hands-on practical, you need to really understand how to fill in the blank, especially when we have in this second case. No, yeah, this one. Okay, so because this one we only have 3 point, 3 point that we get from here, and then how do we fill in the rest is we look at the value and then we just copy upwards lah. Then we can plot this graph lah. Okay, any question? No question. Can you type number 3 if you okay? Um, okay, so um, I only have 30 people responding now.